students. At the last period, we started our first chapter, Nutrition in Plants. In that period, we learn about how humans and animals are directly or indirectly depends upon the plant. Then mode of nutrition of plant and brief description of the photosynthesis method. Now, up to activity 1.1 we covered at that period. Now, we will see activity 1.1. See on the screen. Take two potted plants of the same kind. Keep one in the dark room or in the black box for 72 hours and the other in the sunlight. Perform iodine test with the leaves of both plants as you did in class 6. Now you remember in class 6 in chapter number 2 activities are there, tests are there, test of starch, test of protein, test of fat. These three activities are there, and in that one iodine test will be there, which is used for to check the starch, which is a starch will be present in that leaves, in that particular leaves. What mentioned in that particular iodine test, we will see. We have to take in that, we have to take one piece of raw ingredient material, put 2 to 3 drops of a dilute iodine solution on it. When the color of the solution will be changes into the blue black color, that time we can say that the starch will be present in that particular leaves. Now in this way the iodine test will be performed. Now record your results. Now leave the pot which was earlier kept in the dark in a sunlight for 3-4 days and perform the iodine test again on it and record your observation in your notebook. Now one pot will be kept in a dark room and one pot will be kept in a sunlight. Now after that we are aware about that which leaves can be shows a maximum starch content, and why we are aware about that, because sunlight is most important for the photosynthesis process. Now the next one, the leaves other than green also have chlorophyll. The large amount of red, brown and other pigments mask the green color. Photosynthesis take place in these leaves also. Now in figure 1.4 you can see the different colors of the leaves, like red, red, violet. These types of colors are there. Now what mentioned in earlier in the chapter, the green color pigment which is called as a chlorophyll, which is present in the leaves. That's why they have a color, that's why they have green color. But some leaves are reddish in color, violet in color, different types of colors will be there. In that leaves particular amount of red color, brown color, these pigments are present, and this also called as a chlorophyll, and from that they are performing the photosynthesis process. Now you often see slimy green patches in ponds, in other stagnant water bodies. These are generally formed by the growth of organisms called algae. Now when you saw the ponds and other stagnant water bodies, that time what will be happen in there somewhere you can see that green color green color patches, and these are the green color patches. In Marathi we are called as an shaiwal, and in scientific language the name was given algae. And can you guess why algae is green in color? Because they contain chlorophyll, which gives them green color, and algae can prepare their own food by the photosynthesis process. Because algae they can get water, nutrients from the water and sunlight, and from the sunlight they prepare their own food by the photosynthesis process. Down to the next one, synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrates. Now at the starting of the chapter what they tell, the plants they can make their food by using carbon dioxide, by using water, chlorophyll, sunlight. By using this they are preparing their food, and two products will be formed. That equation we learn about that. Two products will be formed. One is a carbohydrate, another one is a oxygen released in the atmosphere. Now here carbohydrate will be absorbed, carbohydrate will be prepared. Now some other plants are there, they are preparing preparing protein also and fat also. How they are preparing? In this way we will learn in this concept. Synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrate. You have just learned that plants synthesize carbohydrate through the process of photosynthesis. Through the process of photosynthesis, the carbohydrates are made of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. These are used to synthesis of the component of a food. Now when the photosynthesis process is going on, that time carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, these all things are used by the plant, and from that these carbohydrates will be prepared. Carbohydrate in me, it means here the name will be mentioned carbohydrate. Carbo for the carbon, hydrate it for the hydrogen and oxygen which will be released in the atmosphere. Carbohydrate, these are they used to synthesize their components of a food. But some plants they prepare protein. Some plants they are prepare protein, but proteins are nitrogenous substance which contain nitrogen. And from where do the plant obtain nitrogen? Now one thing you kept in your mind, carbon dioxide will be absorbed by the stomata which is present on the leaf, as we learn in the first period. But here nitrogen will be also absorbed by the plant. Now where they are absorbing? From stomata, from root, or where somewhere other body part will be there of the plant. We will see in this concept. Recall, the nitrogen is present abundance in gaseous form in the air. Abundance in the gaseous form in the air. Abundance means in the large scale. We are aware about that nitrogen is present in the large scale in the gaseous form in the air. But plant cannot absorb nitrogen in the gaseous form. But plants cannot absorb nitrogen in this form. Soil has a certain bacteria that convert gaseous nitrogen into usable form and release it into the soil. Now soil has a certain bacteria, microorganisms. We are aware about that some microorganisms are there present whole over the world. There in the soil also some bacteria are there. They convert the gaseous nitrogen into the usable form and release into the soil. These soluble form are absorbed by the plants along with water. Roots, which things will be absorbed by the root? Like nitrogen, water and other required minerals. And also you might have seen farmers adding fertilizers rich in nitrogen to the soil. In this way the plants fulfill their requirement of the nitrogen along with their other constituents. Plant can synthesize component of food other than carbohydrate such as protein and fats. Now at the last academic year in class 6 we are aware about that in chapter number first we are getting the information from which food material we are getting protein, fat, carbohydrates and other vitamin A, B, C. In this way we learn already these things. Now plants they make carbohydrates also, and other plants they can make the proteins and fats also. Now our next point is other mode of nutrition in plant. Now from the starting of the chapter we are aware about that plants they can make their own food. But some other plants are there, they cannot produce their own food. Like human being, they are also depend upon the other plant. Which plants are there, that type of which plants are there, we will see in this concept. Now here see, there are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. They cannot synthesize their food. How do they survive, and from where do they derive nutrition? Now some plants are there, they cannot have chlorophyll. How they produce their food? They cannot produce their food. And then how they survive? How they derive the nutrition? It means to get the nutritional food. Like humans and animals, such plants depend on the food produced by other plants. They use the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic means other depend on another plant. Now look at the figure 1.5 on the next page. It is 1.5. Do you see the yellow tabular structure twinning around the stem and the branches of a tree, and this plant is called cascuta. In our language it is called as an amarbel, and it does not have chlorophyll. It does not have chlorophyll. It takes ready-made food from the plant. It takes ready-made food from the plant. It takes ready-made food on the plant on which it is climbing. The plant on which it climbs is called host. And it deprives the host valuable nutrients. It deprives the host is called valuable nutrient, and it is called parasite. Now these type of plants, they are depend upon the other plant. Because they do not have chlorophyll. That's why using of sunlight and other things are not usable for them, because procedure of the photosynthesis, most important chlorophyll will be there, but they do not have chlorophyll. That's why they cannot produce their own food, and for that purpose they are depend upon the other plant. Now here you can see on the screen one plant is there. On that yellow structural plant will be there, and they are climbing on that plant, and they are directly depend upon the plant. They are producing their food, and from that they are getting their food, and for them the name was given parasite. Are we and other animals also parasite for the plants? You should think about it. Now here one question is arises. These plants are depends upon the other plants. Now one another question will be there. We and animals also parasite for the plant, or different one? I will give the answer here. We and other animals also parasite for the plants. The answer will be no. Why? Because humans and animals are not parasite on the plant, because they don't live on the plants or in the plants for the nutrition. The definition of parasite shows that the organism lives on or inside the other organism for its nutritional purpose or for shelter. Now see this plant. This plant is living on the plant for their nutritional purpose. We are animals, we are not living on the plant for the nutritional purpose. We depends upon that. Understand? We depends upon that. We are not living on that. The parasite definition of parasite what shows an organism which lives on or inside the organism for the nutritional purpose or for a shelter. That's why we cannot say that animals and human beings are parasite for the plant. Now the next one. Have you seen or heard of a plant? Have you seen or heard of a plant that can eat animals? I think we learn this concept in fifth class, pitcher plant, and fifth class pitcher plant, and all these concepts are there already. Have you seen or heard of a plant that can eat animals? There are few plants which can trap insects and digest them. It is not amazing. Such plants may be green or some other in color. Look at the plant which is shown in figure 1.6 here. See the figure 1.6. Pitcher plant showing the lead and the pitcher. See the pitcher plant. Now leaf modified into the pitcher like structure downside, and lead like just a cap. Now here some plants are also there. They are eating insects. Now why they are eating insects? We will learn in this concept. The pitcher like structure is modified part of the leaf. The apex of the leaf form a lid which can open and close mouth of the pitcher. Now it is a pitcher like structure, and apex means topmost layer of that particular plant. See here, topmost layer of the particular plant will be converted into the lid just like a cap. Now here like a mouth open and close, inside the picture there are hair which is directed downwards. Inside that picture there are hair like structure and which is directed towards the downward. And when an insect lands in the picture, the lid closes and trapped insect gets entangled into the air into the hair. Now what happens when the insect will be land in the picture? That time the lid will be closed. Lid will be closed, and these insects will be trapped in the hair, in the hairs of that particular in the picture. And afterwards we are aware about that hairs will be directed downwards to the picture, and after that the insect digested by the digestive juices secreted by the picture. And such a insect eating plants are called as an insectivorous plant. Insectivorous plant, it is the most important definition. Afterwards you write in your notebook what is the meaning of insectivorous plant. The plant which are eating insect eating plants are called as an insectivorous plant. And example is cascota or amarbel. Now next one, it is possible that such a plants do not get all the required nutrition from the soil in which they grow. Yes, because they are not getting proper nutrition from the plant, proper nutrition from the soil. For that purpose they are depend upon the nutrients which is required. They are not getting from the soil. Now see here the image. Now picture plant, it is on the soil, it is in the soil, but they cannot get the proper nutrition present in the soil from the soil. For that purpose they depend upon the insect, and that time for the nourishment, from proper nourishment, they are depend upon the insect, and they are trapped the insect and they depend upon that. In this period, up to this we covered. Now in today's period we learn about insectivorous plant, how the plants they are using nitrogen, and in the activity first how the sunlight is useful for the photosynthesis process. These all concepts we learn. In the next period we will see remaining 2 points, saprotrophs, and how the soil replenished, how nutrients are replenished in the soil.